Well, hello everyone. Let's play 10-minute game today. You can send me challenges which time limit you want. And let's start our first game. Okay, Pirk defense. D6 isn't really popular, but that's all we say. Not much effective, I think. Just if you know that, well, that will help you. Let's castle e5 and then e6, yes, but first let's bring the rook on e1, so that should be okay. Let's take first, because my knight will be under attack after that. Let's go back to... Also, we can take that bishop with a rook if we take. So now I can't take. Let's check. King h8 is a normal move. Even e6, because he would have very good protectors on it. Let's go back and try to take this pawn on a7. Okay, if he takes, he will win a pawn there. So I think I can attack. If he takes, we will trade. Or not. He can take after bishop g5. I will take it back, and he hadn't to take that. So what can we do? I think that should be only move, because he has very much attackers on it. We can't defend that. He can take and after that protect this pawn on e7, because my pawns will be... So we get the time. Okay, he's trying to go here, but if I take with a rook, what is he trying to do? Even after that I can go back with my bishop. And I'm protecting this, right? Yes, that's still okay. We are a little bit trouble here. If I escape with my bishop, the rook will be hanging. So what can I do? If I go back, g5, if I take with a knight, he would take the rook, and that will be won't be open check. Maybe I need to sacrifice the rook. Okay, and now let's go back. Or even bishop. Okay, sorry, my voice was gone. If կարող ես ուղարկել մարտահրավեր, այս խաղից հետո ես կընդունեմ. That's made threat, so let's defend. I just didn't see my voice was gone here. That should be check, and that can't be good for me. Because that will be fork, and that should be losing for me. Կարող ես գրել քո ID-ն, username-ը, ու ես կգտնեմ քեզ ու կխաղանք. Lemon Minecraft, այստեղ ես? Well, let's start this game. Now let's protect with a knight, and after this trade, now this position is okay. Okay, and we can trade. I will activate my bishop on e6. And even now I can go here and try to take this pawn on d3. Okay, now we can trade, and I will defend my bishop on d3 after that. And how can he take that? If he attacked, just I will go c4 and that should be okay. My bishop will be protected and it will have these active squares there. So let's defend. And I can even activate my pieces. But first, even the rook, why not? He is attacking on my pawn, and if I take, he would take my bishop. But now I will take a pawn there, because that's a fork, and I have two attackers on this b3 pawn. That's still okay. If he takes, I will take with a bishop. And he's down a pawn there. Let's go back. If he takes, I will connect my pawns there in the center. Maybe even this pawn right. Oh, that should be okay. Because this c6 pawn would be very weak after that. But now it is all connected. I will try to protect this pawn on a7 with bishop c5. Or even I need to just protect this square on b8. Because if we check, we will trade and I can't activate the knight because the rook will be active after that. And that would be pin, and I need just lose some moves after that to protect the rook and then activate remaining pieces there. So now after that I will castle and I am 6 points up. That's a little bit tricky. If I take, he's trying to do that plan, yes. So let's castle as soon as possible. But he has this b file that can be a little bit hard for me, but I will try to push one of these pawns. I will try to push a pawn because that would be very far from the king. And he will defend it so hard there. Let's attack. Maybe we can try to fork. Let's see if he doing this blunder or not. Players in his rating is doing a lot of miss knight fork. I'm trying to attack on his queen side and make a new queen there, and this moves is very unimportant for him. He's just losing some moves there, and he's not trying to protect this from queening. His rook he deactivated. Don't do that. Try to understand what your opponent trying to do and try to disturb him. Also my knight I can't protect or not. After this, rook h4 maybe. Okay, he misses the rook. And that's just losing for him. I will push this pawn forward and maybe rook b8 should be good move here. Let's check and push this. Rook a1 I am expecting. But it's shouldn't fork there. We can even not to take. He will be mate in 2 moves later. Or even I can mate him like Rook a2 and that all diagonal will be protected. Okay, that's mate. Okay. After 2 moves that's mate. Let's play another game. Let's try Vienna Gambit. It takes, I will push this pawn or even d4. Can be a little bit good, but even if I will kick his knight. And he hasn't any moves there that he won't lose that, so only move, knight back, and after d5 he probably would lose this pawn on f4. That's a very destructive position for him now. Even after knight back to g8, d4, queen h4 check can happen. d5 can be moved there or not, or I can just try to defend this position here. I will take this pawn on f4 if he don't try to go g5 protected. That would be a mistake. Okay, maybe he's trying to trick me somehow. Or what is... Well, let's take this pawn. I can take, and the c4 is hanging now. So let's trade and take, why not? So let's trade and take, why not? Okay, now we are... Yeah, have enough pawns and rooks here. I will trade some threads here to take these pieces. Rook c8, maybe try to take that pawn. That should be a mistake. He doesn't need to take that pawn. I will push this pawn forward. And even rook b3, because that will be threat anyway. And rook b3, I will push this pawn. He's playing inaccurate moves here that won't give him something in this position. And now that's a huge threat, and maybe this can move that. We can do something about that. But that even won't help him. I'll make a new queen here anyway, he can't protect. Okay, let's do that. I have mate in 2 here. Okay, let's do that. I have... Okay, that's check. Let's take. Queen g3, and that should be made. But he has a move, let's not forget about that. Okay, I won this too. That's called Scotch game. I think he's playing that opening nice. I will attack with remaining pieces. He can even take and play d5. That's a very famous trap there. He's not playing that. he untoubled his pawns, which is cool. Okay, and even another defender on it. Let's go knight f4, so I'm threatening trade and I will win a pawn there. Let's see how we can respond. Rook a8 will be very good move in this position. Rook e8, I will castle. Maybe he would try to pin this somehow. So let's not let him to do that. And everything is still okay here. Map a pawn. Central pawn or not? Not a map b pawn. So that should be okay in this position. Now that's a threat. He will lose a pawn, their second pawn. So he chose to protect. Also I can take because his bishop, I will say, is very active there. And e6 is weakness for him. So I will try to bring my bishop out and win this. Bishop g4. Let's see what he will do with his rook. c8 will be very nice move because he will win a tempo there. I will lose a move there to protect my bishop. Okay, but he don't care about it. And after this trade, I should be okay. He's trying to attack somehow. There is no attack yet. This f2 is protected with 3 pieces. He needs at least 4 pieces to attack and take that pawn. But now he is much worse in this position. He was trying some fast attack, but that's won't be here. Okay, now bishop e3 after trade. This position will be open. This f5. I will trade the rooks here and I will be up a rook. And even 2 pawns. That should be okay. After this trade, rook f1 and I will win this. Now his queen is under attack, he needs to protect. Okay, his queen is under attack. Let's play rematch. d5 maybe. That's a early queen attack. That's not the best way I can open my position because after this straight knight c3. But that should be okay. Let's see. Okay, check. I will defend it with a knight because after defend with a bishop I will lose this pawn on d5 and that can't be okay. Let's see if he cannot trade. I will take with a pawn and I double my pawns. This e4 is hanging, so let's take this first after he will run his knight. This d4 is hanging. Let's take it too. I will be happy if we trade this, because I would have very good pawns there. And I think he hasn't done any move, because his knight is hanging to queen h5 is a move. But after queen h5 to protect this knight on e5, g6, and how he can continue to protect this knight. Queen g5, h6, he needs to go back, but that will be a little bit risky for him. And even this c6 pawn is hanging now. Okay, d4 is hanging too. How can I defend? Why I can't defend that? I think I need to go d3, also I will lose that. Maybe that can be a really good move, because after trade he hasn't much attack that he can attack on d3 and take that pawn, but I can protect it, why not? Let's go bishop a6. I am a little bit worried about knight b4, that will be double attack. And if I try to protect that maybe shouldn't right move. And even I can try after knight b4 at d2, because his rook will be hanging and the bishop on c1. Let's get this rank open file with for my rook. Maybe I should go e6, because he couldn't go back on b4 and he blundered that, because now he can't escape. He protecting this, but how he can save this? He isn't using this, I mean. He is losing some moves and I will reach and protect my pawn on d3 one more time. That should be a mistake, or not? I think not really, because his rook is open. After I will try to threaten his bishop. Oh, that's very good move actually. I was near to miss that. He would take with a check and he would have enough time to escape with his bishop. He would be pawn up or not? Not, I think, that because b2 would be hang after that. Now let's activate these pieces here and g6, bishop h6, d2 will be a move. And that should be okay. Okay, blunders his rook. Let's see if he can now resign or not. Okay, not problem. And if he try to go bishop e3 to protect his knight on i7. Maybe knight d5 or g4 to try to take his bishop, and then his knight will be unprotected there. He is losing a material, he is trying to do something here. But if my bishop wasn't on f8, that would be check and I would lose a material there, so his knight on d2 is hanging. Knight g4 or I don't know, I didn't castle yet. Let's check him first. I can't take. It's not a problem. Let's castle, his knight is under attack. I think he's gonna miss that. Oh, he's so bad, he's blundering. Anyway, he can't just bring his knight on some protective square there. Can I mate here? That will be beautiful, mate. But can I? Bishop c5? Ah yes, I will try to do that. That's an important move, I think, because now I have a plan. Let's check. Yes, only this move. I will sacrifice the rook if he takes. Let's play one more game with him. He's not that bad player, actually. He's trying to do some traps also. He understands chess, but not that much. So it will disturb him to understand that that mean he need to play little bit rapid game like he choose now. Okay, if you want to play, send me challenge. After this game I will play with you and I will explain some chess skills that you can play and improve your chess. And now I can castle, bring my rook and try to take this pawn, and that should be good e-file for me. So let's do that. Is it gonna work or not? Yes, I will trade this, but I don't like that only trade because my bishop, I'm trying to save that, but after this trade I will trade it with his knight, which isn't doing great job here. I don't wanna trade, so let's go e4 and that should be okay. I will try to bring my queen in the game and this h7 will be in a really huge problem after that because his knight is main defender on it. If I trade this I will be happy. Maybe I can take with the rook and that should be open file for my rook and I will try to do that. Some threats here. Let's trade on a5. Now I can sacrifice my rook. Okay, let's do that because now this f7 is hanging. This is hanging because if we take my rook on e5, I will take this pawn on f7. And if he takes with a king, that will be open check and he will lose his queen. So let's see if he can see that or not. He took the knight, which I will say is a really good move for this position. Let's don't trade the rooks. I will try to bring my rook back, maybe. Oh, he's threatening mate, see? Let's open this, so now we have two defenders on this first rank here. I will try to bring my queen on g3 and my bishops are doing great job here. Okay, now let's go back because my rook is under attack, and even I can take, because after trade I will activate my queen so fast. Let's see what I will gonna do. Maybe after queen g8 I will try to sacrifice my rook, because can I try to mate him somehow? If takes, bishop h6 check, king here, one more check. Yes, I think that's gonna work. If I won't mate here, that should be a little bit bad. Then mate. I will try to take his queen. Okay. And now I'm gonna take that. That should be only move that winning, and probably that was brilliant by me. Let's check. We can even try to not only take, because I will lose a bishop there. So I can take and he can take me back after this check. So he resigned. Maybe I don't need to take, I would choose to mate him if I could there. And now let's play French defense. d5 is a main line. Advanced variation if he's trying to go forward and pressure this f6 and d6 square, so now I can't activate my bishop and try to trade here, because that squares will be very weak after that. The main problem that he will try to bring his knight on c5 if he is smart enough. And now let's attack on this d4 pawn. That shouldn't be problem for me, he can even take the knight. Even I will try to bring my bishop on e6 and attack on king's side. He is plundering his knight here. Attack on king's side. He is plundering. Okay, that should be winning for me. He isn't seeing that one move ahead move. That's the main problem. He can't play that correctly. He just missed the knight here. And also now we can check. I will be happy if we trade the bishops, because he was trying to activate that. I disturbed his plan. And now we can castle, activate the bishop, and my rooks will be connect with each other. And I should win here because I'm up a material. I will try to pressure this center and take these pawns. Rook d8, and I will open this c pawn. And I will go forward, and after more pressure I think that pawn will gonna lose. But he can also create nice pawn chain there. Let's think about that. Okay, he's playing really aggressively. We can also trade the queens, because I don't wanna go back and deactivate my queen. And now this should be okay. If we trade the queens, maybe d5 can be a move. And even d5 can happen now too, because that will fork my figures there. This pawn is hanging. Let's take with a knight. And after trade, that will be very nice position for me. I even took that pawn, which will be threatened. His all pawns will be with each other. He missed that. He was trying to pressure on it, because he would create very nice actually d-file for it, but he missed that. I am taking with a check, so that's not a problem. Let's try to take all his queenside pawns. How he can defend? Maybe he even not need to defend. He can just try to attack on my figures, and maybe king h1, rook g1. I would do that if I were as white. His pawn is very weak, that will gonna drop if he even see that his rook is hanging on d1. Let's see how he will play it. I will activate this but the main thing is that I can't activate my rook. That will be a little bit hard for me. But that's still okay, even he can take this pawn. Then that will be nice because the 8 square will be free for it. Let's take with a bishop. He was trying to do something there, but that's not gonna work. Queen d3 to defend this square and try to bring my rook in this open file, and I will try to mate him. Also, if king h1, I am winning a tempo here to bring my queen on f3, and now this queen h1 is a mate. How he can stop that? I don't think he can. There isn't any move that he can protect that. Okay, and that's mate. Let's play a rematch with him. Let's play c4 this time, which called English Gambit here. Let's see how we can respond this. Knight c6, which is very nice move against this. Let's see how he can continue to play. d5 is a move here. Okay, 5 is a very good move actually. Let's trade and let's go e3 to not plunder this pawn on c4. And knight f3 I can take, and that should be okay. Bishop e2. Try to create some threats, or even I will try to go bishop d3, but now I can't because his knight is protecting that square. So I will just activate that and castle, and let's see. Well, he's protecting, which isn't mistake. Let's bring this bishop out. And we can also trade and castle. That's still very good position. If I take, he will take with a bishop, and that should be good for him. So don't let him to do that. Because his bishop on d7, that will disturb him to activate this bishop on c8, because he hasn't pawn forward move that will help him to activate his bishop. The only way, I think, b6 and bishop b7, which won't gonna work here, because my bishop on this really nice f3 square, which has nice diagonal. And next 4 or 5 moves he can't activate his bishop, and I will try to use it. What if I activate the queen and then the rook? Or even I can go knight d5 to try to trade this, because his knight will disturb for that some squares that I want to jump with a bishop and or a queen. Let's not him to occupy this g4 square. He would try to do something there. So that still be okay here. Let's play complex game. I will try bishop b2 because his position is a really good position. Or even I can try to go my bishop back and that will be trap his bishop, but that won't work because he will just trade and I will be happy because my bishop will jump this very good diagonal after that, and even g7 will be very weak, and that time you need to also bring the queen and that will be made threat that will disturb him if it's not even being made there. There is a tactic here. We can take this knight on c3 and after we will trade. It seems that this pawn will gonna drop here. Okay, it will gonna drop, but the knight is under attack. He have to take with a knight. He isn't. And he's losing a figure there. But somehow if he takes with a knight we will trade and that will be made threat that will that won't be that good like pawn up. I will try to bring my bishop on c3 because now this b2 square is protected. And we will try to mate him. I'm up a figure there, so I will be happy even if I take the rook because that's not easy to protect this really good diagonal for his from mate. He needs to defend this f6 square because I will try to go here with my queen and try to mate. This queen h6 shouldn't work because queen h8 will be made here. This queen h6 Okay, that's Sung Sung, I think. I check he can run his king on e7. So we can also trade. If not even trade, that will be made because now this is protected. Okay, and then let's sacrifice the queen. That should be made. Nice vision, I think. Let's play one more game with him. Let's open with d6 Pirc defense. And also e5 can be played here to activate this bishop. And d6 will just block it. Which I don't like. This f7 is a little bit weak, but if I castle that shouldn't be any problem there. Also there is a tactic, I can take this pawn on e4 and after he would take the knight, that would be pin and that should be okay. Maybe a little bit even better for me. And now I will try to trade the bishops to open this for my rook. Try to attack on his king, he isn't taking, so let's take. And his pawn on e4 and c4 will be very weak after that, which he probably missed because of fast play. Now what can I do? Okay, he trades. So let's connect the rooks with queen d7 or even queen e7 can be moved, but queen e7 will block my bishop from go back because he will try to take this bishop. Okay, and now I can't save that. That's not a huge problem, you know. I will try to attack, but how can I continue that? Maybe knight a5, also c6 is a move if he not take. I won't let him to. His knight will be in that really good square on d5. And if that knight, he can also bring another pieces into the game. And just let's protect that square because that's now very weak. I am trying to attack somehow on these weak pawns. Maybe I can take. Knight d2 is a really good move because that's defending the pawns, also if it's need, f3 can be a move anyway. fc6, before I will trap my knight, so let's not do that. I will try a6 and b5. I am trying to open this queen side and attack on it because I haven't much figures on king side to attack on his king, and that should be okay because we didn't activate our pieces so well, because even that's a 14th move of the game. So let's do it faster than him. We are taking a pawn. This pawn is, I will say, a little bit weak. If he tries hard, he will take that. Okay, he's not trying, which I'm happy to see, because rook c3 and queen e2, I can't defend that. See, don't do that. Rook f3 and g3, just unimportant moves. Don't do that, you're losing a tempo. You can just activate the queen and bring another rook, and for that two moves that he did this and bring his rook on g3, I will say that's a blunder. He's also blundering the pawn for no reason, and after he will do something to protect his rook, this e4 pawn will be under attack. Think about your central pawns, that will help you in endgame too. Like now, because they has a really good defensive squares that opponent can't jump. This h7 is protected, so that's not a problem. Let's try to bring my rook on second rank. I'm up here, and also 3 pawns. I will become up 4 pawns. I will try to mate. We can even take, because after rook b1 we will trade the rooks. He's losing anyway, and that's mate. Very nice 99th game. Still I'm winning all the games today. Let's play g3 and put my bishop on g2. And now that should be okay. I will sacrifice a pawn on c4, and that will be very active bishop for me. I don't know what he's trying to do. This pawn is under attack. Let's take on e5 first, and now this d5 is hanging. Let's go f4 to protect this pawn on a5. And then I will attack on my knight, and I will try to do that, to take that pawn. And also knight f3, I will castle, because I will say that queen side is close here. He can try to do something in his king side, but I don't think that should work in this position. So he wants trade. Okay, let's trade, because I was trying to bring very good activity and try to take this pawn on d4. He is protecting that. If I not take, he will take, and he will lose. I will lose a pawn there. So let's take. But that's a very good move by him, because that's activating the knight very fast. Like, that was very bad for me, that I lost this pawn on a5. There wasn't just a move that I can play in that position. And now, opposite that, he activates that knight. I will be happy to trade, and bishop d5 can be a move to cut off the queen from the pawn on d4. But that's still well protected. I'm up a pawn, by the way. e3 can be a forcing move. I will trade the pawn. If it's not take, I can just take, why not? That will be upon his bishop after this trade, but I will try to deactivate his bishop to attack with my pieces, and that will be active, why not? This b7 is hanging, but rook b8, he will attack, and he will create very good attack on my b2 pawn, and he can just try to trade maybe, and that will be open, which probably I don't like. That will be hard for defend. Let's take with a pawn. His position is a really good, so let's trade pieces, and even he's up I'm up a pawn, and now 2 pawns. How can I defend this pawn on d4 and bishop? Bishop d. Bishop d5 check, and but I can't defend this d4 pawn because he has really good attack on it. Bishop e3, that will be open, so he can take after that. And I need to defend this bishop. I don't know, let's check, and my bishop in a really good square here. Can I take the knight? If take d5, and that will be trade. I can try something there. If he takes this with a knight, bishop b4. Okay, now he can't move his king. He needs to defend. Rook e7 is the only normal move because queen d6 or queen e7 won't work. He will just lose that. I think he will gonna say he will lose a rook there. So that move also won't gonna work. We have to go there. Can I put more pressure and take it? Rook e1, bishop f6, and that will be all what I can do that. So let's trade. Now I'm up a knight, and queen h8 will be made. What can he do here? So that's made. I will open with, don't know, knight c6 and d5, because if he went d5 I will kick my knight, and that couldn't be good for me. If I take d5 is will happen there. So maybe he can go e5, why not? If I take this pawn on a4, if he take it back, this d4 pawn will be hang after that. If we trade the queens, this c2 square will be hang. And even I can jump there, take a pawn, and that will be fork, so he has to waste another move. I think bishop d3 can be a good move here, which is wasting a move here, and But also I am forking this. That's not all about only pawn. Okay, let's take the rook. I will activate the bishop as soon as possible, and I will bring my rook on this active square, try to defend my knight on a1. I will try to bring his bishop out and take this knight, but also his knight is under attack, so I will check. And what can I do after that? He has a lot of pieces, so I don't think I can defend my knight easily. And even I can castle, that will be check anyway, and plus my king will be defended here. Okay, he's defending the knight, I can't take, that will be just trade, but I am run with my knight and even take the bishop on a3, which he blundered. Bishop b2 will be much better. That will be fork, so no, let's not blunder that. This is the only move to protect. I think bishop d6 won't work, because maybe you can think that he can take because of pin, but after knight takes d6 and trade, he will just jump there anyway. So let's play f6 to kick that, because now we are up a bunch of pieces here. My bishop is very active, but I can trade. I have very much pieces here, so maybe I can just try to mate him in the center of the board. Let's check. And I'm taking this knight with my pawn, or even I can take with a bishop, that will be free. And that should be okay. Let's take. Okay, very good mate here. What if e4? Let's try King's Gambit against French defense. Knight f3 and fast castle to also bring my rook in active square. That's a waste of time, I think. I don't have to take. That will be very bad, and also that will be hard to defend for me. Let's play like activate my bishop and also castle. I will try to open this f file, and even I can try to bring some mate threat here. Let's see how he can respond this. Okay, he's plantering his pawn. Knight f6 will be good move, because after that I think I have to take the knight, because if bishop back I would lose my pawn on e4. If he takes, this f4 pawn will drop after that, and this f7 will be very big, so I will try to mate here. My rook can be in a trapdoor. But that should be mate because he played knight f6. That will be open check, very well played actually. What if e5? If he moves his knight, that will be check. Okay, he moves and that was a check. He hasn't done a threat yet. If he moves his knight, maybe that can be threat or not. No, because I can take after that. And his knight is hanging, knight f6 is the only move, but after that e5 I will just take that. You may think that knight f6 will protect his knight, but after e5 I will take it anyway. Let's just try to pressure him more. Not just take some figures and all. His knight will drop here anyway. Okay, what if check? c6 I will take with a check too. One more time. He can protect with a queen. But I could sacrifice the rook and maybe pin that and win the queen there. Like here, I can do that right now too. Let's just activate all these pieces and take this knight. Oh, that's maybe should work there. That won't be mate. I think he will just think that will be mate because my bishop is very far. Okay, I know that's he's gonna blunder. And that will be blunder after king g6. Okay. Let's check. And that should be winning. That's a little bit annoying when you're up an uphill and you have to go back. He's trying to mate somehow. h3 is just... he can't do anything here. Let's go c5. Okay, that check and his rook is under attack. But I don't wanna trade. Oh, that's free. Because my bishop is a very good here. Very good mate. Let's play another game with him. Let's play knight f6 after e5 and c4. Well, bishop c4. His bishop is under attack and I will go d6. Let's do that. He's trying to mate, but I won't let him do that. Just d6 here. And what if trade? It should be okay, and I will attack on that pawn. Even knight d4 is a move to trade with his active bishop on d3. He's protecting that square, so I will just trade, and I don't think that should be okay. I can castle, but that's a little bit mistake. I think that will be hard to defend. My all pieces on queen side. And queen h6 after queen g3 after castle. That would be blunder. Oh, let's see what he's trying. If we trade, that will be just very good of open f5 for him. He would just try to do something that, and that couldn't be work for me. Yeah, for me. That's castle, and my king will be overprotected there. I will castle, and maybe he can take this f7 pawn. Yes. But what if I take? This b7 is hanging, but he can take the rook, which is really good. After he will take bishop c6, and he will destructive his queen with queen a6, because that will be only move, and I will try to attack. Knight f3, king g2, well, queen a6, knight f3 check, king g2 or king h1, doesn't matter. Knight e2 check, king back, and he will lose his rook. Okay, even that can happen. That's not a problem, and let's do that. He's not threatening anything, so let's take. Let's bring the rook on this open d file, or... No, I can take. I'm forgetting every time that I can take. My queen will be hanging after that. Let's bring this rook on d8, this rook on a1, because f7 I want to protect. Maybe in the future I have to go e5. Let's be sure that is protected. This pawn is hanging, but if he tries to take some pawns there, I will be so fast, and that should be okay position for me, because even this f3 is hanging, and his king side is very weak. So I will try to just attack. f3 is hanging how I said, and let's take. I have to go bring my rook on this second rank, and after this trade, or maybe not trade, just bring the queen after that, and that should be okay. We take knight. What can I do after that? I'm up only exchange here. I don't have to take, so let's go queen g5, and even queen d2 maybe can work here. So now he can castle. I'm up exchange, but that's still very hard to play. Okay, he's plundering the knight. And I will try to mate him. Queen d2, king f1. Okay, d2 is protected, so let's check on e4 and bring the queen. That should be winning for me because his piece is active on queen side there. Maybe I can even take the rook first. Because after this check that will be hang. King h3. No, no, that won't work. That will work when my rook was an a5. And even I can try to bring my rook on a2, queen h5 somehow. And now he's trying to take the queen. Let's check and check on e2. That's winning for me. Let's play a rematch. Let's open with d4. Knight c3 and d3 can be moved there. Okay, and now let's castle. After this trade I should be okay. Let's bring my knight on a5, and after trade he has to move his knight, and this g4 and h5 squares will be undefended, so I can go and threaten him. I'm up a pawn here. My pawn are doubles here, but after h4, h5 that should be okay. Even c3 to quick his bishop because that's defending that two squares here. Let's take with en passant. Rook f6. I don't wanna trade here. I could even go rook d8 and rook f8, that will be trade. d4, bishop b2, c4, that will be very active squares for my bishop. He was trying to attack on this h2, but no, that should be okay. He's sacrificing the bishop, but he hasn't pieces that can attack on my king. This bishop is blockaded and he can't do anything with his rook. That's a pawn trade. Let's protect this bishop with rook. And I missed something there. Probably not. Let's attack on his rook. Okay, that's a trade. If he takes the pawn, that will be final mistake. Okay, let's take, and now we are up a rook. Let's attack on his bishop, and maybe you can think that there is no threat. Okay, a3, I was threatening and I would take that after bishop would go back to not lose that. This g4 is hanging and I will try to make a new queen here. That's not a problem. Just let's go forward here. And now let's protect and go forward. All protected, and even I can go on h3. This pawn is also protected and can even sacrifice the rook here. I have so much materials there, I will try to mate. Okay, that will be win for me. Let's play one more game. We can play also Scandinavian defense this time. Knight c3, queen a5. I like c6 this time because bishop d2, that just will help to activate other pieces, and also I could go back like that. But I will try a little bit aggressive here, castle, and this d4 pawn can be under attack after that. I'm creating fast attack here. My all queenside pieces is on active squares. He's plundering this pawn. He can't move his knight because that's protecting the bishop. e6 is a move here. Knight e2 maybe, and my bishop, my queen and my rook will be under attack. But I should be okay after take this bishop. Let's see how he can respond this. What can hit us in this time? Knight e2 won't work because his, I will take with a rook on d2. Okay, probably missed that. And this c2 will be hang after that too. He's plundering the queen, and that should be winning for me. Can I take this pawn or not? Bishop d7, and that should be okay. He will try to bring his bishop back and pancake checkmate, but I won't let do that. Okay, very well played actually. My queen is under attack and he's trying to mate, so let's sacrifice the queen. Also we are... Okay, that's mouse click. Let's take and that's mate. I would try when bishop d6 after he will take that. English opening this time. e5 and let's play as Black Sicilian defense. e3 and d4. d4 and also we can trade here. We can't go d4 now, but I will try to do that. Let's just bring much defenders on it, and that should be okay here. Let's trade these pieces. His bishop is under attack. I will castle and bring my rook on e1. Try to create attacking ideas here. If this trade happen, I can try also go a4 and activate my bishop like this. That should do a great job here. But what if d6 after that? Maybe that will blockade my figure on it. Now that can happen. This c3 pawn will be under attack if he takes the knight. But after knight takes, I will play bishop c4. His queen is under attack, his knight is under attack. He can defend the knight with a queen. Queen d6. Undivided, all the moves will be okay there. And after that I will try to bring my bishop on a3 to attack his rook. And if rook a8, we will trade and his knight will be gone after that. That's why queen d8 will be a mistake. Okay, he blunders his knight. He's trying to take. Okay, that will be tried, and if queen trades, that should be okay for me. Oh, and his rook is under attack. Let's trade, why not? Even we can also trade the queens here. Okay, that's very good position for me. I'm up a bishop here, a rook a2 maybe. If you down a piece, don't trade, but in this position I think that should be good, that because now I can teleport my rook on this 7th rank, and that should be winning. Let's take with a bishop. c7 is also under attack. I will try to bring another rook in the game. Let's go rook a1, and that will be checkmate. Okay, he saw that. Okay, let's check. Let's bring another rook on this 7th rank, because now we can't mate him, but we will try to take this pawns which is protected that king side. And that should be okay in this position. Try to take it. I can go forward, and if check, that shouldn't be problem for me, and this f7 pawn will be hang after that. Let's go king a3, also defend this pawn on f2, and he hasn't any check then. I will take this pawn. King h6 will lose immediately. Okay, and he lost. Let's send rematch. What if c5, our favorite Sicilian defense? We can trade here. Okay, he check, and we can trade. After this trade, I will have very good center. He's blundering the pawn on e4. And c6 is hanging, so let's defend it, and his knight is under attack. If he protect, bishop d7, and that should win this pawn on h2. But now we can't, so let's take with en passant. We have to take with a knight to not lose anything, okay? But also he can take with a queen. And that should be okay in that position. Because if we take the knight, that will be some checkmating ideas there. f7 was hanging too. He could also try to take with a rook. But now he can't do something about that. Bishop d6, and my position will be very good because his king is exploded now. Now his knight is in trouble. I will castle there. Or even I can try knight d5 and fork. Now I can't because this knight is protecting that square. h2 is hanging. I could actually take that, but let's play a little bit defensive here. Like castle is very important a position like that, because he has a nice diagonal and he can also try to use it. Let's take this h2 pawn, queen h3, that won't be made, so let's try to mate him. c4, plunder that pawn, and c5, yes? Very so I can take. Let's check. And knight g4. Or not. Let's do it anyway. I will try to check on f2 or not. Not that maybe not gonna work. His bishop is under attack. I will take that. c5, c4. And I will try to do something there. His bishop is under attack, but this f2 square is well protected by him. I will try to go these pawns forward and open this bishop. If it's not work, I will try something else, and that's mate. Let's play a rematch. Let's play knight c3. If he plays bishop g4, we will sacrifice the bishop on f7, and after take, check with a knight, and his bishop will be attacked after that. g5, I will take that, and that's, I will sacrifice it, and that's pin, I can use it. I can, okay, queen g3 will plunder my queen, because that will be fork on e2. Knight d5, and he can take, but if I take, his king will be explode after that. So let's play it. I will take this, and he can't protect, yes? I'm not taking something there, but his king will explode after that. I will try to win that maybe with f4, why not? Let's check. f4 won't work because that will be open check and it shouldn't be good for me. Let's bring my king safety here. On h1, yes. c2 is hang if it takes. I think f4 will happen there. If it's not, queen f5 after knight takes c2. Okay, he chooses to plunder his knight. I think I can even attack this f7, f6 pawn, and that would be pin. I would lose a queen there, but I can even try to mate him somehow. Very good move actually. That's blocking my bishop. And f4, yes, if he takes, I think that should be a mistake. Or I can even attack queen from f3. This pawn will be hanging if it's if it defend somehow like bishop e7. I would take this pawn on d5, and that's made. King h7, queen g7, and that's made. Okay, let's finish this and let's end this stream. We played very much games today.